something that will not be familiar to many of you, I imagine. I work for just check we're on the right slide. I work for a social enterprise that does long distance mass participation relays on behalf of various causes around the world. We've been doing this for 10 years, and I'm here tonight to tell you about the relay we did last year, which was one of the most excruciatingly painful experiences of my life, and simultaneously absolutely wonderful and life-affirming. The relay was called Running Out of Time. It was a 7,767-kilometer relay from Glasgow, host of COP26, down to Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, host of COP27. For those of you who can see the slide, it took 40 days. It was non-stop. We went 24/7. We went through 18 countries. We crossed the Channel, the Mediterranean. We crossed glaciers, deserts, mountain ranges, and lakes. In short, it was a logistical nightmare. If anything could go wrong, it did, starting almost inevitably with the weather. Our first leg was due to be 2,000 school students running through the centre of Glasgow, which Glasgow City Council had very kindly put on for us. The weather forecast got worse and worse. It's going to rain a lot, who cares? Get wet, doesn't matter. And then the wind forecast got higher and higher. And when it hit 40 miles an hour, we realized that people's lives were in danger. And with 24 hours to go, we had to cancel our opening leg. So instead of an amazing thing with 2,000 young people with flags and what have you, running through the centre of Glasgow, there were two of us running through horizontal rain at the last minute. And it kind of goes without saying that wasn't as organised as you might have hoped. We couldn't finish where we were meant to finish. So when we got to the end of our run, no one was there. And we sat there for half an hour with hypothermia. That gives you an idea of what it was like. But it was also wonderful. There were some big successes along the way. I'm going to pick out three things. Firstly, the atmosphere on the road is extraordinary. I know it sounds like a little bit of a cliche to say that relays bring people together. I mean, obviously they do, but it's true. So the atmosphere on the road means not just when you're running, cycling, or walking with that baton. It also means the handover points where we hand over to other people, where we had unbelievable crowds at some of these, with people cheering us, bagpipes, everybody taking photos of us and the baton. It was really, really special. The impact we had went way beyond all our expectations. We were very focused on climate education and the importance of that last year. We had, with our partners, we had a Global Schools Action Day in which over 750,000 students took part. We had a petition on our website that over 800,000 people signed up to, and we were even credited in one country, Israel, with helping to change the law on climate education. So, as you've gathered, we work in relays, and you're thinking, it's quite interesting, but in all honesty, I don't currently work in relays. I'm probably not ever going to work on a relay, so why is he here? So I think there are a number of commonalities with what we did, with what all of you are doing. Firstly, we're all trying to address the climate crisis. Secondly, I'm guessing most of you are working in areas in which there are no rule books. By the way, if you see me going too near the front or the side, please shout, because I've almost fallen over twice already. So you're all doing new, innovative things. And I'm hearing, and I've guessed this in advance, I must admit, that you're all doing it with insufficient funding, or at least many of you are. So what are the lessons that we can take from the relay that might possibly be helpful for all of us working in this space? Thank you, Juliet. I picked out 4 lessons, and these are lessons that not only came from the relay, but that I found Almost all of them I found to be true when I was doing what many of you are doing, which was being an entrepreneur and doing startup companies. The first of is, get on with it. Get on with it, even if you don't have all the funding. Now, I know that's not as simple as it sounds. When you start something, you have a lot of responsibilities, the people you work with, the people you've taken a bit of money. But find a way to get on with it. Do not spend too many months just looking for funding. Secondly, partnerships can be amazing. I have literally never been in an industry, and I've been in more than I care to remember, where everyone was so collaborative. Congratulations to everybody. It is absolutely fantastic, this sector. And everything I talked about that we did earlier, that were the successes of the relay, were down to having partners. Thirdly, be flexible, respond to the data and events. Almost everything I've been involved in that's ever had any success, whether it's business or other ventures, we've had to, I'm going to use a slightly overused word now, pivot to at least some degree, and we've quite often had to throw out some sacred cows. So be prepared to be flexible. And finally, I don't care how difficult it seems, there is a way. There really, really, really is a way. And if I've got time, may I tell one story? Just one story from the relay. So one of the most difficult things about a relay through 18 countries is recruiting people to do the relay legs in countries that you know absolutely nobody in. A particularly difficult country was, for us, for some reason, was Italy. No one was interested in taking part whatsoever. So we went to our plan B. We found 2 volunteers, ultra cyclists, and they were going to take it in turn to do all the legs where we didn't have anybody. Except that one of their bikes fell apart, they had a massive argument, and they went home. It's not a problem. There's plan C. There's always plan C. We have a support crew going on an electric vehicle. Whenever it's really needed, they can get out, jump on a bike, and keep that baton moving. Except that they were all, with 20 days in, they were all utterly, utterly exhausted, partly because it just is very demanding going 24/7 non-stop, and partly because they'd had a massive falling out with the people doing a documentary about the relay, and they'd been fighting for 20 days. The relay legs that night were overnight on narrow roads in Italy. Our support crew, absolutely unbelievable, amazing people, did put up their hand and say they'd do it. It was clearly unsafe. We had to say no. Never mind, we went to option D. Just throw it out there into the community. Someone will step forward. Someone will do these legs. No one came forward. No one will do the leg. So we realized there was only one option left, and that was for the baton to stay overnight in the hotel and for a member of the support crew to jump on a train and go to Venice with the baton and meet the next group of people who had come forward to run with the baton. All of a sudden, we were no longer moving 24/7. We were no longer relying just on human power, solar power, wind power. That night, I can't tell you how upset I was and the rest of the team. We went to bed genuinely depressed about it. It happened. The relay continued. They went over the border into Slovenia. Unbeknownst to us, the president of Slovenia showed up for a leg. We were headline news, literally headline news on the telly, and the relay exploded from there. We had found a way. Thank you very much. I hope that was helpful.